Bramwyn waited for Aidan in the library, and her lips twitched as she thought of what her sister was doing with Mako John.
Well, at least she'd be doing it with someone more respectable than Harlan James,
she muttered to herself. She reached down to grab the fire poker and set another log onto the fire, suddenly feeling cold. She set the poker back and sat down, not in one of the chairs before the hearth, but on the thick bearskin rug before it, a gift from an uncle when her parents married. She watched the flames as they danced, unaware that Aidan was watching her from behind.
"Why so sad, Wyn?"
he asked, pushing from the doorframe and heading into the room. He handed her the bottle of rum he had retrieved from the ballroom. He didn't bother with glasses, knowing full well Bramwyn would rather drink from the bottle. He stood there waiting. It didn't bother her that he called her Wyn. As a matter of fact, she liked the way it sounded coming from him. She took a swig from the bottle, reaching up to take Aidan's hand and pulling him down next to her.
"It be this house,"
she answered as she settled on the rug.
"Brings back memories I not be faring well with,"
she admitted softly. She handed him the bottle as he leaned on one elbow, stretching out his long frame.
"Ghosts be in this house, and will be till the day I be gone, or my father is able to rest in peace."
Aidan took a swig from the bottle, studying her.
"Well, as I see it, this place is filled with happy memories as well. I admit the pain of loss is sharp, but it is only a small part of it, aye?"
Bramwyn took the bottle and tossed it back.
"Oh, aye, but there are more painful memories than good ones."
She rolled to her stomach and gazed into the fire, resting her chin on her folded arms, the bottle still in one hand.
"One of my best memories was that birthday party I spoke of earlier."
She smiled fondly.
"I remember cutting my hair to talk Papa into taking me with him when he sailed again. Oh, aye, the village talked about it, but Papa and Mama didn't care."
She took another swig.
"He indulged me every whim,"
she whispered.
"Said he'd never find anyone that would take me. I'd be too wild. So, he said he'd take me himself aboard ship and let me see the world."
Aidan smiled, reaching out, brushing a stray strand of her hair back behind her ear. She didn't have cut locks now. Instead, it flowered around her like a wave.
"I remember a beautiful girl in blue smiling fondly as she clung to her father's leg,"
he finally remarked, taking a swig from the bottle they shared. Bramwyn looked down, her fingers playing with a piece of fur.
"Aye, I was close to my father. He'd let me dance on his feet. I remember when he bought me that blue dress. 'Twas my favourite, but I hated wearing—"
She stopped, her brow furrowing, and she looked at Aidan.
"How can you be remembering that, when we never even met before I threatened your life on Tobago?"
she asked curiously. Aidan sighed as he rested a hand on Bramwyn's back. He was silent for a long moment.
"Aidan?"
she asked, noting the haunted look in his dark eyes. Aidan rubbed his hand on her back before sitting up, looking to the large stone fireplace he had admired when he first stepped into the manor.
"Bramwyn, I once served aboard the Hirondelle d'Arain."
He looked back at her.
"When your father was captain."
His admission was enough to make Bramwyn roll onto her side so that she could look at him where he sat.
"Either I'd not be hearing you right, or I've not had enough rum for the night."
She pushed herself up on her elbow, the movement causing the bodice of her dress to shift slightly and reveal the curve of her breast.
"I knew all my father's men, and you not be one of them, Fletcher. I'd remember you."
Aidan turned back to the fireplace, staring into the crackling fire and watching the wood glow a warm red as the flames licked at the sides.
"I wasn't bloody Cutlass Fletcher yet, Bramwyn. I was just a young boatswain at the time. Your father,"
he took a swig from the bottle,
"took me in fresh from the mainland. Taught me everything I know."
Bramwyn nodded as she sat up. Their hips touched, and he looked at her.
"I'd be remembering you, Aidan. By these eyes of yours."
She cupped his cheek and ran her thumb over his lower lip.
"And this mouth,"
she whispered.
Did we ever meet?"
she asked. He stared into her violet eyes and sighed.
"Your father guarded you well. The last I saw of you was the night of your party.